breaking fucking records radio.
Where the first time you went to D&D Studios was for the Tony Touch mixtape.
I believe, I'm not sure if that was the first time, but it was one of them.
Okay.
The first time.
And, but Preemo wasn't there.
Okay, I think, yeah, that sounded about right.
How
Was I with Marshall?
Yes, you were.
I don't think Preem was there. We were there to see Tony Touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I recalled you saying, but I was curious, when did you and Preemo meet? Because I know you had the production on your first album. You guys, personally, you two make, he's my favorite producer for you to rap on. Always have.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we met at D&D.
Yeah.
And it was definitely after that session because one of the reasons he agreed to give me a beat, to sell me a beat, because that's what it was back then.
Yeah.
You basically gotta ask him, is he down to produce for you? If you're like a new artist, and he'll let you know if he'll work with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how big of a deal he is. So like, he had just heard of me through the Tony Touch project. Like, he heard that verse.
Okay.
And he liked it. That's why he was willing to work. He didn't even know. I'm not even sure if he knew that I recorded it at D&D.
Oh, really?
Maybe he put two and two together because Tony Touch had a room in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe he pays attention to whatever Tony Touch does because he has a room in the studio. I don't know. But whatever it is, he heard this verse. And he was like, yeah, I fuck with that kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'll do some shit with him. You know what I mean? So, I believe we had to pay him in cash, though.
Whew.
I think we may have had to pay Preem in cash.
For real?
Yeah, he's about his business. So whatever it was, we took care of it. And it was like, I scratched that off my bucket list at a young age.
Yeah, the first album.
So to be able to like build a relationship with him and actually be able to say that we're friends, and then now he's like a mentor, and we in a group together. Oh, that's beyond the bucket list.
Yeah.
That's beyond the bucket list. That's like some other shit.
That's like the every MC's wet dream.
Yeah.
Straight up, like.
Yeah, man. So that's why, that's why I do like the homage on stage. Like, I pay homage to him every night on stage. I mean, I'm just constantly just thanking him, you know what I'm saying, for his camaraderie and his leadership and his stamp of approval.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. I'm from Detroit. I didn't come up in the New York hip hop scene, and pretty much the way that I fell in love with hip hop and making music is more widely accepted in New York than it is in Detroit, because I was one of those kids. I was raised by my parents, but I was also raised by the TV.
Yeah.
The TV was my outlet. I used to look at all the videos and shit. I used to see the way people were dressing. I was influenced by the entire culture, not just what was on the radio. I love some of the things that were on the radio, but the things that were on the radio were kind of limited to just maybe what the programmers wanted to play, or metrics and things that my young mind didn't understand.
Yeah.
I just knew I liked what I liked, and I wanted to hear more than just what was on the radio. I was intrigued by the artifacts, fucking Busta Rhymes and the whole Death Row movement, DOC, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, you know what I mean, Snoop. I was just intrigued by hip hop from different places. And then, when everything started taking off and Atlanta made its surgence, you know what I'm saying? Like, Atlanta started moving and like all of these different places, and then Nelly and them started doing their thing in St. Louis. And it started to get cool because it was like, damn, all of these cities is just taking off and all of them do something different.
Yeah.
That shit was like wild to me. You know what I mean? So.
And in Detroit, you're kind of in the mecca of kind of hearing everything.
We got our own shit too, but we even got, in Detroit, we got a culture within the culture.
Yeah.
We got like Doughboys Cash Out, Icewear, Vezo, all of these dudes that like, they sound like hybrids of the era before them of street rap, local street rap. And it's a certain sound and you recognize it from like a mile away.
Yeah.
It is so dope. I think that's so dope, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody is a product of what their influence is and what made them fall in love with the culture.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about music, man. You know what I mean?